Hello, everyone. I'm your host Ravi, and I'm back with a very interesting and informative and a short podcast episode with a very good friend of mine, Krish Mummadi, to talk on SailPoint's Developer Days. SailPoint Developer Days started in 2023, has been one of the developers' platform for showcasing all the good things that they've done throughout the year in their organization and promoting a culture of development across IAM platforms and supporting developers across the world. So, in this particular discussion, I've covered topics around what is a developer day event, how is it beneficial for all the developers, engineers, business personalities all over the world, and how it can help boost the developer and the engineering community in the entire IAM space. All the details of the sale points developer days has been pinned down on the description section. Please go check it out and register with your personal mail ID or with your official mail ID and enjoy the entire sessions based on your region. Without any further ado, let's get started. I'm your host Ravi and I'll see you on the other side.
Welcome to India's first identity podcast. Why not IAM?
Good afternoon, Krish. How are you?
Hi Ravi, I'm doing good. Thanks. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much. And welcome to the Why Not I Am podcast. I am pretty much sure a lot of our audience will be excited to hear from you as we really did a very interesting podcast in our first three episode around SailPoint. And thank you very much for covering such deep dive questions, such helpful questions. The only thing that I was getting from the audience, whether they were a fresher or an experienced professional, and whether they were into any domain, they were able to relate to what you said, what you were doing, and that has helped them a lot. So I really want to thank you on behalf of all my lovely audience.
I'm glad that it is helpful for them.
And with that, I would really want to talk about the upcoming Developer Days, SailPoint Developer Days 2024. And it is one of the biggest event that SailPoint hosts. And this started last year in 2023. There were really good response and it is happening again in April 19th. And the purpose of this is to make sure that we are making more people aware of the SailPoint Developer Days so that they can join the episode. It is free of cost. They can register there and get to learn a lot because these are some of the events that help an individual to grow in their IAM journey also, right? So with that, I would like to start with what is the Developer Days? What is the SailPoint Developer Day?
Yeah, sure. So, as the name indicates, the SailPoint Developer Day. So, there will be a bunch of developers from SailPoint, the SailPoint employees, the developer team, plus the partners and customers. So, the one who is implementing SailPoint technologies for the clients, right? They are referred as partners. The one who purchase SailPoint products, they call as customers. That's the keywords we use, partner and customer. So the employees from partners and customers as well, just like you, like me, we also can participate there, be a keynote speaker or presenter, something like that. Okay. So the SailPoint, I think 3 months or 4 months before, I think they asked me November, I think before that, somewhere around October, November, they asked us for nomination. So which concept you would like to present in the upcoming Developer Days conference. So it's not like they decide, they ask us to enroll or give a entry. So based on that, they shortlist which concepts they would love to present it to the audience or IAM lovers or SailPoint enthusiasts all over the world. So that's how it starts. And then, so there will be nominations, interest. A lot of people will be showing interest to present, right? So from all over the world. And finally, they will shortlist for the on-demanded concepts because it's not like they shortlist whatever the concepts they get. It's okay, the world is changing, the technology landscape is changing because of the AI and because of the attacks, right? So, which concepts are required now? So, based on that evaluation, they will finalize the topics and they will shortlist some developers all over the world. It's not just like development only, even some concept they can explain, not just coding level. It's about configuration and implementation level as well. So they will do this for a couple of days. It used to be there for a week last year, both for both Identity IQ and Identity Now. Identity IQ is on-premise product. Identity Now is a cloud product. So both the products, there will be presenters for a whole week.
Okay, so what was the theme of last year and what is the theme of this year?
So they just take a kind of concepts which covered almost all topics in both the products. They touch almost all the topics there.
Okay.
You can present for half an hour or 1 hour max. I think so, 1 hour. So imagine for 8 hours a day and 5 days, there will be like 30, 40 topics, right?
Okay, okay. And this is a
Or more than
5-day
that.
event?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Now I see it's a little different now because they're hosting it for US, Europe, and India, and one more is there. So 3 regions they are covering because of the time zone issues, I believe. But yes, the topics will be different, and no matter wherever you are, I believe because of the IT, it's nothing like you work in some specific timings, right? We almost covering all the time zones nowadays. So I guess you can manage, you can look into the topics. And if you register and there is an agenda as well, which day, which concept will be covered on what time. So yeah, you can be available. If it is not, you don't want to cover everything. If you are interested for some topics only, sure, why not? So you can go ahead and be available at that.
Okay, and did you get a chance to attend this last year?
Yeah, I did last year.
Okay.
I was excited even because it was the first time. And, you find lot of sessions, lot of cool solutions. It's not like just a product level, or it's
Okay.
not like learning about SailPoint products. It is about a lot of customizations as well, some cool solutions the developers built around the world.
Okay, and they come and display and talk about it?
Yes, they present and they show you the demo as well.
Okay.
That's cool. So anyway, the product information, the development, everything is available in the website and documentations, and you learn maybe trainings or whatever it is. But you never know some customization done by some ex person somewhere in the world. So even those concepts, those cool solutions, you get a chance to see them.
Okay, and what were some of the key, few interesting things that you were able to remember from the last year's session?
One thing, there were some customizations when you do customizations for a website last 10 years, it's not something like that excites you. But one thing was in Australia, I think they are, or they were, I would say, not much developers like Java or .NET or JavaScript, Python,
Okay.
not a heavy developers. They just know basic PowerShell, nothing more than that.
Mhm.
So they started building solutions in PowerShell for customizations. End of the day, SailPoint, I don't know, is a API based, right? Even
Yeah.
for Identity IQ, also APIs are there. No matter which product you take, nowadays everything is exposed in an API. It's not like you need only some X language like Java only. You can write code in any language to make API calls, right? So since they didn't know much, they are not experienced in much programming languages. They know only basics in PowerShell. So they started building small parts of customizations in PowerShell.
Okay.
So one day they realized like, why can't we make it as a SDK, software development kit? So then they started building their pieces of or fragments of code into SDK, and they have presented that in last year Developer Days conference. Then SailPoint has seen that and they felt, yeah, it's a cool solution. Why can't we build SDK? Then they took that basic version of SDK in PowerShell and they started building on their own. So currently we have PowerShell SDK and I think in Go as well. Some more languages they are working on to release the SDK. So I loved it. When the product itself or the company itself took inspiration from a developer somewhere, some part of the world. That was nice to hear.
Absolutely. This would have encouraged all the other developers, right, to even think in not a specific direction, that just because the product is supporting it, but also to ensure that there could be any direction that
Yeah.
you can fit a product into, because eventually there is a platform where if you have made something really interesting, cool, You can share that out, and the best part is company is happy to accept that and
Yeah,
then build that into a full-fledged tool and then make it commercial.
yeah. They did acknowledge that as well. This is the guy from whom we took the inspiration. Unlike, I don't want to name, I've heard some when people present their solutions, they out of nowhere they develop it. They don't recognize, they don't acknowledge that, yeah, we took inspiration from this guy. But SailPoint did that, and SailPoint presented that as well. How come we developed the SDK? This is the story.
Okay,
That,
okay.
that
This is
say
really
who's,
interesting.
yeah,
And I am definitely sure even this year, with that motivation, a lot of the other developers would have come up and they would have put a lot of effort to build really interesting and cool things.
yeah,
So that is really interesting story. Thank you very much, Krish.
yeah. And
So,
this year they are sponsoring flight tickets and accommodation in US. That's a good thing. So they are covering all the costs. So you can go to SailPoint headquarters in, I think, Austin, I believe. So you
okay,
can go there and you can present there. You can meet inside SailPoint headquarters here. That's a good thing they have done this year.
that is really amazing. Really amazing.
Yeah.
And again, just shout out to SailPoint for promoting and facilitating all the developers. And this would really create an environment, right, where people can come up and talk about a tool. And I believe that is where the product is very developer friendly, and people
Yes.
across the world, especially developers, are accepting it so willingly.
Yeah.
Now, from a event perspective, right? So I want to break this down into three different sections. First, from a developer participant perspective, like if someone wants to participate, right, in
Mm.
days, what are some of the things that they should keep in mind, and what should be their preparation? How soon they have to start? What is the process? So can you walk us through? And this is specifically for developers across the world if they want to go and put something out on the developer day and showcase.
So there will be a session where they will explain about what is the future of SailPoint. What are the, for example, they are implementing, or I think it's already ready, Gen AI, generative AI for entitlements description. So we type a lot of information for descriptions, name of the access, right? So they are bringing that Gen AI, so it will automatically gives you suggestions, everything. That's a new feature. And a lot of such things, new features, which includes AI, machine learning, data science. So they will discuss more about it. So it's like a roadmap, what you can expect in future. Second, there are API deprecations. So we have V2, V3 beta CC API. CC was a private API. So they are decommissioning those APIs and they are replacing with new versions. So they will explain about that as well. So
Okay.
last year they have given us, okay, what are the dates of the APIs when we can complete the new version of API calls. So they will give all these kind of announcements and dates, everything for the entire world. So
Okay.
in one liner, I can say that product updates and future goals as well. That's one session. Some sessions will be product information, some new concepts. So SailPoint engineering team, SailPoint developers, they will bring out new concepts. For example, last year they have showcased workflows, how you can start with workflows. So in Identity IQ, we used to have workflows, everything customized. So we used to write that as a code. But this year, sorry, in Identity Now, last year they have announced that workflows concept where it's a it's a no coding platform where you just do drag and drop. So they have explained, they started building a small to a medium level workflows and they have given us demos in multiple sessions. That's a good way to learn from them as well. Some sessions will be completely development and how you can, for example, we have transforms and rules, which are the two type of developments we do. Yeah, some developers will come out and they will present you how you can write these transforms or how you can choose the transforms and rules as well. And other section will go to new features. For example, we have Colab where everyone can contribute for some solutions there. Colab.
Mhm.
So like that, they'll bring new features or SDKs, something like that. So this is categorized into these sections where you get to know a lot of information. It's not you get some training or some,
Okay.
getting my
Okay.
point. So it's not like you are taking a training. You get lot of information. So you just take it. In case, let's say, for example, it's not like they will jump into middle of the topic. That's not going to happen. They will, if they take workflows, they'll take from the beginning, something like that. Okay. So you don't need to learn anything. It's not like you need to know something. You just come there and take out the sessions. I cannot guarantee that 100% you will be understanding if you don't know anything about identity now. That's okay. You will get to know at least something. After that, you go back and learn the topics which are required, and again you can see the recording. But
Okay. Okay.
one thing, if you are already SailPoint developers, no problem. You get to know some amazing cool solutions and advanced solutions and new concepts. If you are not a SailPoint, I don't know, professional, then yeah, you get to know, at least experience it or taste of it.
Okay. Oh, that is good. And from a business perspective, right? I know this is more of a developer focused platform or
Yeah.
an event, but what kind of business owner, say for example, some director, some head of a company or any company, right? If they are attending it, what can they expect from these events?
One thing they will come to know that SailPoint, I don't know, is not a heavy coding platform. It's a low coding or no coding platform. They will understand that. Second, they get to see new solutions. For
Okay.
example, you are an architect and you see this, you do not need to understand everything. You just understand the gist of it, what it can do. Now you can go ahead and tell your team that, hey, I have seen a cool solution in Developer Days. Why don't you look into that? Why don't you implement that? Because we are facing the similar issue. So that team in X company, they have fixed it. Why don't you have a look at it?
Okay.
Next,
Yeah.
the business will come to know what are the new features in the coming days.
Hmm.
Example, Gen AI, how you can integrate with, how can you use that? And different modules. There will be different modules in SailPoint. So they get to know. They get to know the introduction out of it. The sessions, it's not like more technical. There will be half business centric. They will explain what you can achieve, what kind of problems we are facing, what kind of solutions we tried, and finally why we are choosing this solution. What are the pros, cons, and what are the outcomes out of it. So that's where you give you a lot of knowledge for your organization. And maybe, yeah, if you are facing the similar issue, or if you think that solution is going to help you to get rid of some issues and increase the efficiency out of your platform, yeah, you can take a reference from it.
Okay. And what about someone who is an engineer and not a developer? How can
Mm.
they benefit from this? What should be their plan of going and attending the event? Is there any specific topics or sessions that you would want them to attend, knowing the fact that they are from an engineering background, not from a developer background?
Yeah, don't know development at all. If you take Identity IQ, you just feel like something watching like a movie because you don't know the basics of development even. But if you take identity now, it's not the development. It's
Mm.
what I can say. SailPoint Identity IQ, it's 20% support, 80% development. Whereas in Ident now, it's reverse. 80% support, 20% only development because it's a cloud product, right? So if you take Ident now, there is no development, I can say, almost. You just learn about concepts. So you do
Okay, a
not need
cloud
to have,
platform, right?
yeah. See, now the world is looking at, not now, they already started a couple of years back. Everyone is looking at SaaS solutions only. No one is looking for on-premise products unless if they have a complex requirement, right?
Yeah.
So if you take IAM, if you are looking into SailPoint, the world is in identity now. Most of the clients and customers are migrating to SailPoint identity now from Identity IQ. There will be a lot of migration projects you will be seeing in the coming days. I have heard some, and some are in progress, and some will come definitely in the coming days, right? So now let's say that you are SailPoint Identity IQ expert and you do not know SailPoint Identity now. You get a chance to test it now. You get a chance to see it at least. What are the different concepts? What kind of problems they solved it? And some, maybe someone will come and I think there are some sessions dedicated for that. how they migrated from Identity IQ to Identity Now as well.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll tell you one cool scenario I heard last year. Let's see how you feel about it, Ravi. So we go for access reviews, right? We review the access. Every IAM product does that. Most of the IAM products,
Yeah.
right? In 3 months or 6 months, we need to review the access, and we call it as access reviews in SailPoint Identity Now, aka also known as certification.
Yes.
Okay. So we certify user access on a basis frequency of 3 months or 6 months or something like that. Generally, we ask managers to do the review. Okay. We
Yeah.
give 1 month, 2 months, or maximum 3 months. You take any part of the world, not more than 3 months, they will run the certification campaign. So we wait for, let's say, if you take 60 days, we wait for 1 month or 45 days to manager take the decision. If they don't take the decision, we will ask or we will escalate it to senior manager.
Yeah.
So if manager didn't take any decision and if it is escalated to senior manager, the manager will lose the access. That's the punishment. I was laughing. Nowhere I have seen such kind of things. But in US, in some pharma or healthcare company, healthcare client, they did that. I was laughing like anything and I felt, yeah, this should be implemented everywhere. So the IAM folks will understand why I'm telling about this because we send emails a lot of times, reminders, initial email, reminders, again reminders,
Yeah.
third set of reminders, still they don't take any action.
Absolutely.
But when something mistake happens at SailPoint and we send an email by mistake, okay? When we move the work from non-pro to production and something mistake has happened, it happens, right? It's not, we are not God. Every day it works 100% correctly. So out of that, for example, one instance I'll tell you. So certification, once I have seen my teammate has done that, they did something wrong and it sent email notifications to hundreds of managers, which it
Okay.
shouldn't have happened. And they escalated like anything. They fired, oh my God. And once I think there was some mistake I didn't realize that though. There were emails sending unnecessarily.
Okay.
Then they fired. Arey, why don't you ignore that mail, man? Yeah, we said that it's a mistake. Please ignore. Then why to fire on that? Why to escalate on that? Why to send in emails to SailPoint team or SailPoint management that why the hell you are sending me this email unnecessarily as if something, yeah, as if we are, the world is not stopping, right?
Yeah.
It's just one email. Why you are making big fuss out of it? I don't understand. But when we talk about certification, which is very important for our organization,
Yes.
they don't take action.
That's the
See,
main reason, right? For
yeah,
organization being
yeah,
non-compliant.
exactly. They don't take action. I have seen a lot of clients recently, maybe 80% compliant, 70% compliant. Most of the managers, they don't take action.
Yeah.
They just, it just go like that. And in some big organization I worked in US, so that 70% completed, 30% we redirected to help desk. Now they will work on it. So now, can you see the problem here? When we send a mail mistaken, by mistake, one mail, they will fire. When we send almost 20 mails with reminders, they don't take action. So that's where I have seen this disable their access unless the certification is completed. So
This is a very because somewhere either you reward people if they are taking action on time,
yeah,
or you definitely if. And this is not something that the SailPoint team or any team is doing to benefit or showcase their talent. This is
yeah,
compliance, right? And
yeah, yes,
if the company, only thing the company exists and is able to provide service to its consumer is because they have a proof that they are compliant, whether it's
yeah,
with data or with access or with anything. Now, if that is the only thing that the company has to do, like one of the important thing I would say for them to thrive their business, if even that is not being taken care, then why even if the company is existing, right? Security and all of this, but without compliance, there is nothing. So this is a very good plan thought out. And I must like one of the challenge that I was just thinking about here is stakeholders sponsorship. And I believe whoever this, the stakeholders were really supportive and they really had uh, kind of a sponsorship from their end to support these kind of actions, which is really committed.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe after, I don't know how many organization took it seriously, but I was laughing after seeing that after he was presenting. I hope we find such kind of things in this year as well, and hope some organizations learn from that, because I never thought about it seriously. It's a cool thing to do.
Abs- And this is the benefit of attending the developer day, right? You really
Yes.
get to know like how some of the complex challenges were just solved using common sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because it's pure common sense. If someone, like, imagine if you have to send these type of notification to an employee.
Yeah.
The first thing would come is, okay, if the guy is not doing it, just take his access. But
Mm.
just because you have managers involved, there is a sense of responsibility around it, right? Like, how do we ensure that the user experience is not hampered and so on and so forth? But this is a very good way, I must
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. And another key takeaway for the professionals like you, like me. So I often get this question, even now I face it as well. Krishna, I'm not getting exposed to all concepts in SailPoint or any IAM product or any technology you take. Okay. Because you have a lot of team members working with you, you get a chance to work on something. Okay. So when I started SailPoint initial first project, there was a very good manager. His name is Junshan Gupta in Cognizant. He's still there. So he used to talk to
Okay.
every team members and say that, hey, you did certification, right? Why are you doing certification every time? No, I'm not giving you this work this time. You go ahead. What is the work you never did? Oh, that one? Okay, you take this work. Yeah, another guy. You never did certification, right? You take up this one. It's a cool thing, no? He was doing
Absolutely.
great that every team member will be getting a chance to work on every concept. But other guys, I've got requests that Krishna, I never got a chance like that. I know only these concepts. How can I explore other concepts? How? Maybe I want to excel in my career. Or what if I'm alone handling the project? How can I do entire work? Or let's say that I'm switching my organization. How can I? Then I said them like, yeah, your organization has SailPoint and all the solutions are implemented, right? Why don't you look at them and learn from them?
Absolutely.
Ask your colleagues, ask your teammates that how did they do this, right? So I don't know, it's not happening much, but let's not go there. But now in developer days, you get a chance to see all kind of works from all over the world.
Okay.
So if you have this question, I haven't expelled at having expertise at all kind of concepts in SailPoint products, then yes, now this is the chance to get to know all kind of concepts
Okay. Okay.
and
This is
take
a
the
very
requirement there. Yeah, and take the requirement there, whatever they have done, and you can replicate it and you can do the practice, and that's how you get the expertise. And they are not giving you some silly examples, right? They are giving you real time work what they have implemented for their clients. Okay. Someone used to ask me like, how can I get practical knowledge? This is how you get it.
Mm. Yes.
So all answers, you will get it in SailPoint Developer Days.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, this is a very good point because this is a very common questions from everyone, right? Whether they are a fresher or working experience, they are into a domain or they are into a support role. How do they get into engineering roles? They have not been exposed to any of the use case. This is common thing. So guys, I believe anyone who has this question around how do we get ourselves exposed to use case, developer days is the answer. And developer days not, I think there is the entire YouTube section, right? The last year's recording is already available. Try to go through that over the weekend, understand what you can expect, and then start attending them from 9th onwards based on the region.
Yep.
Okay. So thank you very much, Krish, for all the inputs that you have shared. Now moving on to what are you excited about? What are some of the cool things that you're expecting in this year's developer day? I know you talked about the generative AI, but are there few topics that you're really interested for this year's developer days?
First thing is fellow developers. I would like to see them. I got a chance, but I couldn't go for some reasons. So maybe next year I'll be there physically in US. So I get a chance to meet them. But this year at least I do e-meet. Virtually I meet them. One thing. Second, if you become SailPoint ambassador, you get a cool, what can I say, gig from them, some gadgets or there will be some goodies from SailPoint. There will be announcing it what they're going to send us, all the ambassadors. So guys, if not just the knowledge, you get this cool SailPoint gigs as well. Be SailPoint ambassadors, contribute to that. So I do contribute a lot to SailPoint ambassador portal where people ask questions. I help them and I learn from them as well. And next thing is I'm really excited about SailPoint new features. So I was asked a question, why you want to go to software, not any government jobs? I said that I want to be a student every day. I want to learn something every day. How? That's what software is, right? Every day it changes. There will be something new. Yeah, there will be new features announcing by SailPoint. So we will listen to them and we will see if something is very good and up for our organization requirements. Then I'll take it as a proof of concept and I'll implement it in my spare time. I'm going to showcase it to my organization. If I was there in some consulting firm, maybe I can do that. I'll give you two scenarios here how you can excel at your career or job.
Okay.
Take that new feature will be announced by SailPoint. Spend some spare time and try to implement that in your sandbox environment. You can do that.
Okay.
Once it is successful, you take the documentation and explain it to your management and explain it to client and implement it. Of course, you get a lot of recognition, right? That you did something
Absolutely.
cool work. That's how you excel in your career. Second, if you are working in a pure consulting firm, wherever it is, once you have completed that solution will be replicated or implemented in other clients also.
Yes. Yes.
So the work is done by you only once, but it is replicated or copied 10 times or 100 times. Depends.
That's how they add value to the organization,
Yes, exactly. So when I was working in Accenture, manager name is Vivek Saini, and so I used to tell my ideas to him, and he used to encourage me to do the POCs. After I do, there was some meeting like where we present all our automation. So I got automation champ award, rewards, everything, and that solutions will be taken to the clients. And there were calculations like I can save to $3,000 or $5,000 per year per client.
Yes.
So this is how your solutions will be calculated, and that is how you learn as okay.
Yes.
So if you take other parts of consulting firms, whereas in Europe, how I describe that. So I do that POC and I completed that. I will complete that and then I'll talk to my client. Hey, this is the new cool solution. This is what I have implemented. And do you want to check it out? I'll give the demo. I'll convince them to implement this solution. I'll give them how many hours it will take. So it's a new project for my organization, right? Same thing I'll talk to other clients as well. I've done the work already, so I'll just copy paste it. So let's say that it will take 100 hours to implement them. And if I do 10 clients, it will be like what? 1,000 hours billing for my organization. That much business I'm going in simple words. So this is how you can excel in your career for your organization and for your self as well.
Absolutely. These are such wonderful points that you are highlighting, Krish, because so these are really good, wonderful points that you're highlighting because this is not only about go and work in an organization, more about how and how also not in terms of go read a documentation, go attend an event, get the learnings from the event, and then how do you implement that event if you're implement the idea that you got from the event. Either you're working as in a captive company or you're working as a consultant in a consulting firm, right? How do we manage this? These are really great ideas. Thank you very much, Trish, for sharing this out. And I believe the gap that we have seen where people are clueless about what to do, how to grow, how to get exposed to use case, all of that will be covered here. Second is, once they know about the use case, what to do. This is where the idea of where they can set up a sandbox environment, do their POC, try to deep dive more into it, and then see if that is solving any of their clients or customers' problem. So thank you for pointing this out. Now we have come towards the end of our developer days discussion, right? And what would be what would be your advice to some of the budding engineers, aspiring developers that are attending developer days this year?
Yeah. So I'll tell you this case where frog in a well, right? We do hear that a lot in some even corporate meetings.
Yeah.
So I feel like everyone, I don't talk about you, at least about me, I am a frog in a well. Because if I keep living in my comfort zone or my zone and talk to my colleagues only, my friends only, it's like you are living in some closed circuit, right?
Absolutely.
It's not a good idea to be like that for long duration, right? So you don't know anything new, right? So when you come to this SailPoint Developer Days, they are accepting some presentations from all over the world. Hundreds of developers will be registering for it and they will shortlist it. Now you get a chance to see how other fellow developers are thinking because of our culture, our upbringing, our neighborhood, everything, it decides how you think. In India, we think in a different way. Of other country people, they think in a different. So when you come to this kind of conference and you see a different set of developers and different mindsets, that's where you get to see the world and different use cases, the clients, how the work they have. So everything. So now you are going to gain the knowledge, which will take maybe a lot of years if you are relying on your work experience. Getting my point right? So how many years it will take for you to get this kind of knowledge in your work experience only? Instead, if you attend this conference, you get to see a lot of people's work. It's not like they did that work in 1 hour or one day, right? They did for months. Finally, the solution they are bringing it, right? So all that months of knowledge you are getting. So you can excel in this way. You get to meet a lot of amazing experts, their solutions, their thinking, a lot of use cases. You get everything. Trust me, after you complete these sessions in this event, I think there will be a change in the way you think. There will definitely a change in your career.
Okay. Okay. That is a really great advice. So, with that, I wrap up today's session. Thank you very much, Krish. It has always been a pleasure talking to you, and I get a lot of insight, a lot of things that I learn from you. And thank you very much for answering all my questions patiently. I look forward to everyone as well as your engagement on the upcoming SailPoint Developer Days. So, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Ravi. Thanks for hosting. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.